Learn how to with EgoBooks.
Welcome to EgoBooks. With this episode, we are going to look at the accounting aspect of EgoBooks. When you open EgoBooks, this is how the interface looks like. We have the total sales, the net, the invoice due, the total sale return, total purchases, purchase due, total purchases return, and the expenses. So this is how you are going to see the interface. Then you come to the accounting aspect. When you come to the accounting aspect, we have the assets, the expenses, the income, the equity, and the liability. This sum up your financial statements if you want to prepare your financial statement. Then we have chart of accounts, journal entries, transfers, transactions, budget, report, and settings. We are going to look at each one after the other. So first and foremost, let's look at chart of account. So with the chart of account, we have it in two folds. We have the tree view. This is how the tree view looks like. You have your assets, your everything. You have the tree view. You can scroll down your tree view. Assets. You have your assets, account receivables, your current assets, and your expenses and your liabilities. Then we have the tabular view. The tabular view. So with the tabular view, this is how the tabular view also looks like. This is how the tabular view also looks like. It contains everything: amortization, accrued liability, sales, debtors, equity, goodwill, depreciation, long-term debt, material CSOs, others of official expenses, overhead expenses, prepaid, retained earnings, revenues, everything. It contains everything. With this, you can filter what you want to see. You can choose the account type. If you want assets, you can choose the asset type. For the assets, you could see all the asset type here. And with this tool, we have a drop down. The drop down will direct you to the respective ledgers if you've entered any. And when you come to the respective ledgers too, you can export to Excel, you can print, you can export to PDF as well. We are going back to the chart of accounts, as I said earlier. So we've looked at the tabular view and the tree view. Now we are going to the journals. With the journals, you can see all the transactions you've made with the journals. But in this case, there is no transaction being made here. That is why you've not seen any transaction here or any journal entry here. Go to the transfer. With the transfers, it's the same thing. All payments can be seen here. You can transfer money from one account to the other. So here you can choose to transfer from account payable to account receivable, or you can choose from any aspect, any place you want to actually make any transfers to. You just have to choose. Probably maybe expenses, utility expenses. Then you are transferring it to account payable. Utility expenses, you are transferring it to account payable. So with this, you can add. When you look at this aspect, we have add. Move to transactions. So the transaction comprises of all payments made, whether income received, whether expenses paid out, whether purchases made. You can see all those ones with the transactions. So on your left side, you can see sell, which is the revenue you've made. You can see purchases, you can see sales payments, you can see purchases, you can see purchases payment, and you can see expenses. So with this, you can choose between each side you want to make payment to, either sales or purchases. This one too, you can export to Excel, you can print, and you can export to PDF too as well. We have our budgets. For the budget, you have the financial budget for the year. So if you have the financial budget for the year, you can add here on your right hand side, you can add your financial budget for the year. Then we move to the report. The report comprises of our trial balance, the view of our trial balance, the respective ledger reports, the balance sheets, account receivable aging report summary, and we have account payable aging report summary. Likewise, we have those ones in details. We have them in details, which is account receivable aging details, account payable aging details. They are all here. You can have a view of it, view report, but here there is no report because we've not entered anything in here. If you want to actually record anything with this, first and foremost, you can come to sell, because all sell payments or all revenues are made. You can add a sale. When you add a sale here, that sales or those sales will be moved to the accounting aspect. It will move to the revenue aspect of the sales in the accounting aspect. We have the sales here, we have the purchases aspect. So the purchases aspect too, we have the list of purchases. When you come to the list of purchases, here there is no purchases done. So if you want to add any purchases, you can add your purchases in here. The moment you add your purchases, it will also go to the accounting aspect. So if you want to actually view all payments or all purchases, the moment you come to accounting aspect, you could see everything there at the right time and the right transaction which you've made with the accounting aspect.